Give me one. It is a fantastic morning in the capital, Friday, the 15th of August, 2025. Greetings to you, the lovely GIC viewers and listeners within and beyond the borders of the Republic of Namibia, and a very warm welcome to today's information sharing session under the flagship of the OMAS, which means Offices, Ministries and Agencies. This morning's session, I will be your host, Hileni Philippus Hamunyela. Now, for this morning, we are discussing the Namibia Annual Sports Awards 2025, and I am joined in the studio by a famous duo that is from the Namibia Sports Commission. But as is the norm, before I can formally welcome them back to the Government Information Center, I'd like to pause here and extend a warm invitation to you, Namibia, to be part of this discussion by following the conversation on our social media platforms where we are currently streaming this show live. Now on Facebook, we are at Ministry of Information and Communications Technology, or if you are a YouTuber, you can stream us live, pardon me, on our YouTube channel, and our handle there is MICT Namibia. Now, as we continue with our discussion in the studio this morning, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Government Information Center. I am joined on my immediate left by Mr. Given Samolandela. He is the NASA Project Director. Good morning, sir, and welcome back to the GIC.
Greetings. Nice to see you after 365 days.
Yes, I couldn't have said it better. Ms. Nyambe, Magic Nyambe, the Deputy Program Director, if I have the title correct.
You have it correct,
Right.
Lenny.
Right.
Thank
Welcome
you so
back
much.
to
Yes.
the Government Information Center.
Yes.
Happy to have you back.
definitely it's that time of the year again.
Absolutely. Right. Now, Mr. Samlandela, I'd like to start with you. As earlier mentioned, it's wonderful to have you back. And we had this conversation around this time last year, right? And now you are here again for the 2025 edition. Could you start by reminding the Namibian nation what the Namibia Annual Sports Award represents to Namibia as a nation?
Thank you so much, Madam Eleni. The athletes have been putting their work from the 1st of October 2024, and they'll still continue to do so for the period under review until the 30th of September 2025. And to honor this blood, sweat, and tear that our athletes, our sport administrators, coaches, and contributors, including our partners, the media, are putting out there. The Namibia Sport Commission was mandated to organize the Namibia Annual Sport Awards each and every year, at the time and date and venue to be determined by the commission as such. So the Namibia Annual Sport Award, it's a flagship event or career that celebrates sporting excellency in the sporting fraternity or industry of Namibia. This is where we come together with our communities, sport lovers, parents, athletes, contributors, and administrators to just to show appreciation, to recognize those who have achieved marvelous and significant achievements, to say thank you so much, and here is the token of appreciation. In addition, of course, to the payments that they receive upon returning from the global stage. For example, we're talking about World Championships, the Olympics, and Commonwealth Games, and African Games, and so forth. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. Now that we have that out of the way, Ms. Nyambe, I know that this year's award is under the theme, celebrating sports excellence. Briefly talk to us how that captures the spirit of awards and the message you'd like to send to the athletes and fans alike.
Thank you so much, Eleni. I think it's important first just for me to highlight where celebrating sporting excellence came from or started. So the theme came about from 2019. We have used the very same theme, 2019, 20 up to today. So Namibia for the past 5 years have moved from participation to podium performance.
Right.
With this, and in line with the Sports Commission vision, we want our athletes to be celebrated, not only for participating in the Olympics, World Championships, and so on, but to finish podium level. So with this, we want to encourage them to say, let's celebrate sporting excellence, not just for participation, but for achieving that goal, that medal. So that's where the celebrating sporting excellence comes from. Yes.
Okay. All right. Mr. Samlandela, did you want to add on to what Ms. Nyambe has just mentioned?
Probably just to say, celebrating sporting excellency, it's not only the commission that gets together with athletes or with nominees. This is something that we celebrate together with our communities. There's too much financial implications that revolve around these games, mostly from parents. You find that some parents, for their kids, to put their kid through these programs, they need to sacrifice a lot. And if you look at our athletes, coaches, and administrators, the amount of time they are taking from their work. Remember, these federations operate on a volunteer basis, whereby they have work that they do from 8 to 5, and after that they attend to athletes, and at times sacrifice weekends and holidays. They miss out on funerals, birthdays, weddings, and all that. So this is the moment that we say, together, let us celebrate the sporting excellence.
Okay. Now, Mr. Samlandela, I'm sticking with you. Now, last year, you spoke about raising the profile of Namibia sports on a continental stage, right? Now, since then, what progress or notable changes have you seen within our sports fraternity that makes this year's annual awards particularly special?
Thank you, Madam Director. The notable changes, we'll start with governance. and government support, of course. It's a song that we are singing. It's the song that the presidents have been singing. And we are so happy and embrace the fact that sport has been elevated to number 2 priority in the country. And it's not just a say on paper, but that we have seen also support coming from government with 50 million allocated for federation support. So that's a good win for us, because we are not really goal-driven. Awards are just something that happens at the end of this journey.
Right.
So one of the additionally notable changes that we have seen during the year under review for the awards is that we have seen a good performance of team sport. You understand? When you look at the previous years, the performance of team sports was not that much.
Right.
But now we have seen an improvement in team sport. You speak about the Dubai Cup that netball, our Desert Jewels, brought home. And then today we are going to receive inline hockey. Of course, they are bringing home the medals. These are some of the achievements, and these are some of the things that we have to celebrate. And notably, in the world of sport development, just a few weeks back, we were celebrating the great achievement by Cricket Namibia's development program,
Yes.
Ashburton development program,
Yes.
a program that won a continental, not only a continental, but a global award. So for this year, I think we are going to see a clash between individual sport codes and team sport codes, and we wish all the nominees good luck.
All right. Now, Ms. Nyambe, building on to what Mr. Samlandela here has just alluded to, from your perspective, how has the organizing process evolved from last year or from previous years? Because we are saying that this theme has been in existence since 2019.
Yes.
So are there any new strategies or approaches that have been adopted?
Thank you so much, Lenny. Of course, each edition brings always something special.
Right.
We get to witness someone from underground, per se, win Sports Star of the Year or Sportswoman or Sportsman of the Year. So each edition brings a beautiful reminder of the talent that we have in our country. And definitely it challenges as well. We can't run away from that. I think from this year's edition, planning has been ongoing. They always say that we learn from past mistakes, or even, some of the places where we did very well. So we build from that. So I think we looking from last year and this year's edition, we started firstly with stakeholder engagements for our federations, because they are the heart of the Namibia Sports Awards. They are the heart. So they are the ones who experience the challenges, and experiences that experience with each edition, and of course with us as well. So we started with the stakeholders engagement with the federations, and then onward we moved to the media as well. So it has been quite a journey. We're excited for this year's edition. I think we are on the right platform or right path. So I'm happy.
All right. Now, I think at the heart of this planning of this event is the sponsorship. I'd like to shift gears to that, and this question is for you, Mr. Samlandela. Talk to us about sponsorship. Has there been any public interest in, sponsoring some of these categories and whatsoever? Because I know that without this sponsorship, this event, may happen, but not in a manner that you would entirely want it to happen.
Yeah, indeed, we have received support, and as a commission, we are working towards removing the notion of sponsorship and approaching it from the notion of strategic partnerships, where we bring in partners. And one of the partners that came on board is the government, when there was a commitment of availing $3 million Namibian dollars towards the Namibia Annual Sport. Yeah, that's very commendable, and we really appreciate that as sport administrators. And from there, yes, from corporate Namibians, our communities, we have received interest, and of course some have already came on board. And I should say some of them, just when we announced that we are hosting the 2025 edition of the Namibia Annual Sport Awards, they
Right.
said, look guys, we are going to give you this. Just let us know,
I
write
love
to
the
us.
generosity.
Yeah, and of course, during the we did a call for sponsorship a few days back, which is circulating on socials. And we have seen also interest peaking from corporate Namibians, from our community, business community, and from the general public, of course. We expect that to grow. However, we are going to have 2 sessions, one of which we are planning is a sponsorship sundowner. As my colleague mentioned earlier, the Deputy Project Director, we are going to have this event in Ogwediva. So we are planning a sundowner sometime in August or September, where we are going to engage the business community in the northern part of Namibia to pitch the idea and to sell our story to them. And also we are going to have a sponsorship breakfast meeting right here in Windhoek sometime in September or October, whereby we are going to announce all our sponsors or all partners that will come on board.
All right. Now, of course, Ms. Nyambe, this question is for you. Of course, these awards are more than just trophies for us, right? And how do you then believe the recognition at this level impacts athletes, right? How does it impact these athletes' motivation, performance, as well as, especially for the younger upcoming stars?
Yes. As Given alluded earlier, that it takes very hard work, sweat, dedication from both the athlete, the coaches, the management, and the parents, to just take this young athlete to participate in a certain competition. But the goal is always, I want to be recognized. Last year, we had some very Lahia Shitile walked away the Sports Star of the Year.
Absolutely.
We do have someone deep in the village, Hangwena region, and they say, okay, I also want to be on that stage.
Right.
Because it's a stage where we celebrate sporting excellence. As I said earlier in our theme to say, we're not just looking at participating, we want podium performance. So this motivates a young athlete out there to say, I want to achieve, I want to be like the Christine Boma, and stand on that podium and see our Namibian flag, and our national anthem being sung. So I believe really it's going out there motivating to say we are celebrating these young athletes, coaches, the media, on this platform. It's a national platform. It's the highest in our country, I believe so. Yes. So yes.
All right. Sticking to athletes' recognition and impact, but this one is for you, Mr. Samlandela. Just building on to what Ms. Nyambe here has mentioned, how do you then ensure achievements across all sporting codes and, from high profile level, sports to those less in the public eye? How do you ensure that they receive equal visibility and appreciation?
Thank you. First of all, before I tackle that question, I think it would be fair and just for me to add something on the sponsorship or partnership as we were discussing earlier.
Yes, please.
It's notable to inform the nation and appreciate one critical partner that came on board and when the expression of interest for hosting rights was sent out. And then, of course, we want to take this moment and mention, a special mention to Ogwediva Town Council for coming on board and saying we are going to partner with the Namibia Sport Commission to ensure that this mandate, this dream, this vision is realized come the end of the year. Now, coming back to your question on ensuring equity and equality at the same time, I should let you know that we have round about 59 sporting codes, and these, yes, and 6 umbrella bodies. So the staff complement of the commission is around about 13 or 15 staff members. We serve the whole country. However, we ensure that each and every federation or sport code receive the maximum visibility that it so deserves. So how we do this, of course, it's through collaboration and partnership with the media and with some stakeholder engagement that we organize. One of the platforms that we do is we organize media engagements with federations. We bring them together. And then we train federations. We provide support to federations and say, look, we cannot be at all events. However, these are the steps, these are the things that you need to follow. And we had one early this year in February or March, where we brought together all our federations and our media practitioners to say, look, these are the people that can drive your narrative as federations. And most of the federations speak now. They have WhatsApp groups, and they have social media pages where they communicate directly with the media. And also, they still come through the commission. And as a commission also, we are ensuring that we attend each and every event where possible. If I can tell you, like last week, the past 2 weeks, let me say last month,
Right.
During the African Union Sport Council Region 5 Youth Games in Windhoek, we have to divide ourselves and say, look, there are games in Windhoek, there are games in Swakopmund. However, this is only for youth games. We had other games like horse racing was happening. There was MTC Winter Cup in Rehoboth. At the same time, there was a Region 5 freshwater angling competition taking place in Marintal. So that day we had to attend Region 5 games in Windhoek, and then rush to Rehoboth, then rush to Marinta. And coming forth again 2 weeks back, the same happened. We had martial arts hosting the Namib War 3, and then at the same time we had sending off of the Bosha team that was going to African champs in Egypt. And same time, the following week, we also have dance sport. We also had cycling, the African championship that was happening for cycling. And then we had a gala dinner for MTC, the one for, not MTC per se, but Brave Warriors.
What an event.
So there are a lot of events, but we are ensuring that with the smart partnership that we have for the media, we are able to reach out and ensure that every federation is covered so that at the end of the year, these federations or athletes, they are recognized for their hard work.
Yes,
And
please.
I'm actually thinking now, when you ask the question, what's different this year? So if you can listen to what Given is saying, all these championships, our team has been doing very well. So it already creates a very tough competition for all the nominees. Whoever is going to walk away with that prize, that big prize.
They won't have it easy.
So we look forward to that, yes.
All right. Thank you so much for that. Now, Namibia, if you are just tuning in, you are tuned into an OMA's information sharing session for this Friday morning. I am your host, Heleni Philippa Samunyela. Now, as earlier mentioned, this morning we are talking the Namibia Annual Sports Awards 2025, and I am joined in the studio by the NASA Project Director, Mr. Given Samulandela, and his deputy, Ms. Magic Nyambe, and they are here to unpack the Namibia Annual Sports Award 2025 for the nation. Now, you too can be part of this conversation by following the discussion on our social media platforms, where we are currently streaming this show live. Now, on Facebook, we are at Ministry of Information and Communications Technology, or you can also stream us live on our YouTube channel, and our handle there is MICT Namibia. Be part of this conversation and add your voice to this very important discussion, if you ask me. Now, as we continue with our conversation here in the studio, I'd like us to now shift gears to, let's say, inclusivity and representation, right? Mrs. Samlandela, one key conversation in sport at the moment is really about inclusivity, making sure women, para-athletes, and also rural talents are or have equal opportunities, right? Now, earlier on, you've briefly mentioned something in that light, but I now want you to please shed more light on how this year's award ceremony is reflecting this very important commitment.
All right, thank you so much. If you look at the history of the awards, you'll find that there are categories that recognize talent from amateur to elite athletes. This is to give a fair playground for all our athletes, contributors, and coaches, and the members of the media. If we speak about the media, in this case, you find that we have different forms of media. So we also recognize that and say, look, for the media, we are going to separate this in 3 categories, whereby we are going to have digital, we are going to have print and broadcast, just to give a fair playground. And when you talk about amateur, we have developmental programs that are running, and then we recognize that, say, okay, the program that for this year showcased really hard work and talent, and then we recognize such a program. Last year we did award the NFA Arab Academy, our program that the NFA, one of the federation, was doing in Arab. So that's one of the things. And look at the para athletes or the athlete living with a disability. That's also
Differently abled.
Differently able, yes. That's of course, that one have to appreciate the efforts of NamPower, who came on board, and really what NamPower is doing for our athletes with a disability. Right. They are doing that great. And for able-bodied, yes, I mean, we have categories also for them, junior, senior, because you cannot put them in one pot.
Right.
You need to separate them to ensure that the playground is fair, and of course anyone can do that. And of course, Sports Star of the Year, anyone can win that. We saw surprises last year, both para and able-bodied, whereby a para athlete, our gold medalist, Lahia Shitine, walked up away with that one. So equity-wise, yes, we are doing great. And when it comes to funding, earlier you spoke about popular and less popular in the public eye. We have submitted a sustainable funding model that we believe is sustainable, and to ensure that federations operate within the prescribed means or within the budget of 50 million. We have followed the cabinet categorization of sport, sport codes, where we have priority sport codes, national sport codes, developmental sport codes, and recreational sport codes. So this is how the funds are going to be distributed to ensure fairness, because you find that some federations are bigger than the others, or some federations have bigger events than the others. So to ensure equity, we distribute these funds according to the needs of each and every federation or sport coach. So that's how we are doing that.
I love that, because the needs, of course, varies from federation to federation.
Exactly.
Okay. Now, Ms. Nyambe, back to you. Could you, in your view, could you kindly share an example of a category that Mr. Samlandela here has mentioned, or a nominee this year that really embodies the spirit of inclusivity and diversity in the Namibian sports fraternity, pardon me?
That's now from the para-athletes?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah, which one captures your heart, that embodies, in your view, says that, you know, for me, this one takes the cake. It embodies the spirit of inclusivity.
I think it has to be the basketball.
Okay.
The basketball team from the the Special Olympics, actually.
Okay.
They've been doing quite well. I think there was also something exclusively for them during the just ended USC Region 5 games, where they had a competition just for them. I think our team did pretty well. It was not so bad. So I think for me, I'd really...
Two brothers?
No. I think this is a team.
Oh,
basketball.
Okay, basketball, not
wheelchairs.
volleyball. Oh, that's volleyball.
No. The basketball on wheelchairs.
Okay.
So it's an inclusive sport.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'd really love for them to really have that platform to come out, because some of these sport codes are not seen.
They are not
It's
seen.
something that we rarely see. We're not aware it's happening, but it is there.
Oh,
you know, so we really need to draw as a nation our attention to, special needs athletes, especially those under the Special Olympics.
Flying the Namibian flag
Yes,
high.
they are flying the Namibian flag high. As I think also Given mentioned the boccia. That was also a team that we sent out to participate at the championship. So, but all these
Boccia?
things is...
Mr. Gibbon, what sport is that? Okay, see, this is why we need to...
There's so much happening. So
Yeah.
I think Given can just shed more light on that one.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
When we speak about equity, embracing equality in the world of sport, Of course, we have to commend what our federations are doing.
Right.
Of course, not only to look at single-sided and say, okay, that specific one, that specific one. You know, it's a battle, an uphill battle that we have been fighting. First of all, you look at the composition of the team and trials, national trials. You need to have trials that you can call and then select your team from there. That's also equity and equality right there. And the demographics and the race, the age, the gender, it's a long list that you need actually to be compliant with. Speaking about the boccia that my colleague, Deputy Project Director, has said, actually, me and my brother, Mario, were there that Sunday morning. Actually, we're taught how to play boccia, and it's a game played by our para-athletes.
Oh, okay.
Whereby they in wheelchair. It's a ball game. Mostly, it looks mostly like alley, if you played alley, or marble, if we have to call it that way.
All right.
But this one, the balls are a bit big, and they are not made of marble or glass. Yeah, it's just a normal ball, soft ball, but a bit heavy.
Right.
So yeah, you know, like my colleague said, some of these codes, we don't really know them, but they are there. They are something. It's interesting. I mean, on that Sunday morning when we were sending boccia to Egypt, you find that we competed, able-bodied and our athletes with a disability. Some of us were beaten because. So these are the things that at the end of the year we need to sit and appreciate. And if you look at that competition, some of those athletes, they came back home with medals actually, finishing the semi-finals and so forth. So at the end of the year, we need to say, okay, fine, as a country, what are we doing and how can we appreciate such great talent? And if you sit with these people and listen to the stories behind them finishing on the podium, the time they spend on the field of play, or the coaches, the time that they spend on the field of play, administrators, and the media that are covering these stories. So it's marvelous stories and wonderful ones.
Oh, wow. So refreshing to hear. All right, now, let's shift gears to community and nation pride, right? This awards for me, and I'm sure I'm speaking on behalf of many Namibians. These awards aren't just about the sports fraternity, but they inspire the whole nation, us as Namibians. How do you see this event fostering a deeper sense of national pride and unity amongst Namibians? This one I'd throw to the both of you. You can both share your sentiments. Okay.
All right. When we speak about national pride, we speak about patriotism. It's something that you cannot force within yourself.
Right.
It's something that you need to embody. It's something that just happens, that brings goosebumps. You know, when you are watching those awards, you are looking at that stage. You are seeing athletes being crowned. Maybe that particular person is your sister. Or when they are, not only the awards, but when they are given those medals, they're competing either on a national or international platform. If I can take you back during the days of Boma and Christine, when she was running the final hit for the 200. There was a famous voice. Yes, there was a famous voice up to now. That voice is still on the social media. Boma, Duka.
I can.
You understand?
I'm reliving this moment.
That's camaraderie. That's patriotism.
Yes.
You look at Brave Warriors when they were playing in Côte d'Ivoire, the AFCON, when they qualified for knockouts. I mean, we were there at the city of Windhoek at the parkings. It was raining, not raining, but it was. Yeah, it was pouring actually.
Oh, it was pouring,
yes,
not
it was,
drizzling.
But you could see that the people put in that effort and say, no matter come hell, come rain, come what, we are going to watch this game until the end, and we're playing against Angola by that time. You could see people came out in numbers, and then you can see now the consumption of sport is increasing. So we want to say these awards also, after all these celebrations, we need to come together now and celebrate all this diversity in sport and to say, colleagues, this is ours. Let's own the moment. My Namibia, my country, and my pride.
Absolutely. And sports is one that unifies us, you know. They
Yes.
say sports is a unifier.
If just on the sport unifier, if you look in history, of course, we are going to dwell much on history references. If you see, there was a time that Didier Drogba managed to pause a civil war that was happening back then, because he sat with these people, all parties, and said, look, guys, why don't you just pause and we'll watch the beautiful game that we all love? And then all
Something
of them,
that we all have in
yes,
common.
The rebels and the government also said, okay, fine, ceasefire. You see, that's what sport can do when we talk about unification. Look at South Africa, 2010, what sport did in South Africa. Doesn't matter which color, or which race you are, where you come from, which gender. Look at the Springbok when they lifted the Rugby World Cup.
Absolutely.
Everyone wanted to be Siya Kolisi, everyone wanted to be, even us Namibians, we shared that moment of South Africa.
Their moment.
So we can turn that to Namibia. The Brave Warriors are going to Botswana in September. The 3rd, they are playing against Malawi, and the 9th, they are playing Sao Tome and Principe. So
Mm-hmm.
we are going to see how loyal we are. So we called on the fans to join this,
All
this
right.
just cause, yeah.
Okay.
And I think if I must add, when you look at on the sports award margin, when we announced Ongwediva as the host, you know, suddenly, you know, but why not Omaheke? Why not Karas? Why not Katima or Rundu? So this really tells you to say they are willing. Our Namibians want to celebrate. They want to, you know, come together and reward these athletes, not just with monetary value or just to be there and to celebrate and to scream when that name of the sports star of the year, you know, is mentioned. So really, we are grateful for that.
All right. Now that brings me to the next question I wanted to pose to you, but I think it's still, I will not do justice if I don't ask this question in its entirety. I know that you've just now mentioned that this year's annual sports event is taking place in Ongwediva. Why Ongwediva specifically? Why was there, or what motivated that specific location?
Okay, so as the organizing team, we sit on the table and, you know, we say, okay, where are we taking the awards next? Because our mission is to take the awards to the different regions.
Right.
As you spoke earlier, to say, we want to build that nationhood pride, you know, of sport in the whole of Namibia. So what we did this year is we opened it up. It was open to everyone, all the regions, to bid, to host.
All right.
And the first person, as
Mr.
given,
Samlandela
yes,
here.
mentioned earlier that Ongwediva took the call to say we are ready to host.
Oh, wow.
And of course, as an organizing committee, there are various aspects we look at when it comes to hosting this event, because it's a very quite big event. If we look back at last year's event, we attracted about 600 people.
Oh, wow.
You know, Namibians that came and celebrate our sports stars. So it just shows you how much of a magnitude this event is.
Yes.
And it shows to other regions as well to say, like for this year, we opened it up. Anyone could apply to host. But first, we have to look at the infrastructures that exist within, you know, a town like Ongwediva, for example, they have the facilities. Windhoek, of course, has the facilities. Swakopmund has the facilities. So this is also a call for next year. It's still open. We don't know where we're going next year.
Right.
So for Zambezi region to bid, you know, Kavango to bid. So it's open. We just need to really work on, as regions, work on hosting capacities and all that. So when Ongwediva said we are ready, we looked at it as an organizing committee and we said yes. I think the last time we were in Ongwediva was 2019, if I'm speaking under correction.
Right.
So we are going back again 2025, and we promise it's going to be even bigger.
And better.
Yes.
All right. Now, sticking on that, Ms. Nyambe, are there any cost implications that are involved for the public that are interested in attending this auspicious event?
Thank you so much. That's a very good question. I'm so happy to announce that the tickets are on sale.
Okay. Already?
As of last week.
Okay.
So we do have general tickets that are going for 250 Namibian dollars. And the VIP tickets are going for 1,000 Namibian dollars. And of course, our corporates, those who want to come on board, buy a table of 10, that is 10,000 Namibian dollars. So all that is available from now up until November.
All right. Mr. Samlandela, did you want to add?
Yeah. You mentioned why Onkwe Diva. The question, why not?
One asks.
Why not? That's the question, the answer that our former president, Fikepunye Pohamba, would often say. But yeah, coming back to that, you find that growing up in the village or rural areas, we were given an ultimatum, so to say, or a directive to say, okay, I'm going to play soccer or I'm going to play netball. I'm going for sports, actually.
Yeah, right.
Our parents used to tell us if you must choose. Either you stay there,
Yeah.
get your parents from there, or you eat there and they must take you to school, or you come and work.
Yeah.
So taking these events to the regions, it really has to change. It's aimed at changing that narrative,
Yeah, the
so that
perception
the
thereof.
perception, so that our parents back at home can see that yes, a sport is an investment that they can do for the kids. There's potential that. Not only to say to get an office job and sit there white collar.
Career that is also
it's
worth
also a
the
career
undertaking.
that can bring something on the table. So we need to change that narrative. And in addition to that, this is where now we have to come and say, okay, corporates also, they need to remove sport from a bucket of corporate social responsibility.
Right.
They need to move it to corporate social investment,
Right.
whereby we should not just celebrate talent when we see that talent has performed well on the podium. We need to identify that talent on the ground, nurture it, groom it. In business, they would say, get that talent, and then you incubate it.
Right.
Incubate that talent and elevate it to the podium. You own that moment. You own that specific talent. It's yours. And of course, when we come to the impact of the event, we would be able to talk more on that.
All right. Now, Mr. Samulandela, I'd like to stick with you a little bit longer. I want to find out from you, looking beyond the ceremony itself, right? Because it comes once in a year, right? Are there any plans to create a more year-round platforms for celebrating sports excellence, and as opposed to just once in a year? Because now we've come to realize it's an annual event, right?
Yes. Yes, those platforms, they do exist.
All right.
It's just a matter of igniting that fire that is about to die. First of all, as our sport codes or federations, we always encourage them to have federation awards, just to ensure that they appreciate all their athletes within the federation.
Right.
And we have seen a lot of federations adhering to that call. This year, attended 2 of those awards for federations, and of which one of them, history was made by our Namibian team, under 13 freshwater angling. And then, of course, not only them, but we have seen other awards also being taken. And the second one, second platform is the regions. We are encouraging the regions to host the regional sport awards.
Right.
This is to ensure that they can appreciate talent within the region
And
identify potential for elevation to the national stage. So if you look at this trend, first of all, you start with federations or clubs. If clubs or federations, clubs can have awards, and then the winners, they elevate them to federation awards. And those who win in federation, they can be elevated to regional awards. And then regional awards, they elevate to national awards. You find that they will give us a talent that will really bring competition at the national award. And again, it's not only national awards. We still have regional awards that we call Regional Annual Sport Awards, RASA. For this year, RASA Awards happened in Zimbabwe. So the winners from the national are the ones that we elevate
to
the RASA
platform.
So there is that step by step. It's baby steps. First club, federation, regional, national, and SADC or Region 5. Region 5, all 10 countries bring in their athletes. So those platforms are there. It's just for us to invest in those platforms. We call on corporates in different regions to ensure that they invest in these awards. And of course, we don't really say these awards must be organized by a specific entity or regional council. No.
Can be collective
can be
efforts.
collective. If I'm a businessman sitting in Okangwati and I want those awards to happen, I'll just say, okay, fine, I have this amount of money, I have 200,000. Governor, CRO, town council, and all those stakeholders, let's come on board and appreciate our athletes. And a commendable action was taken by Omaheke last year. They hosted regional awards in Omaheke to appreciate their pioneers, their legends, and their athletes, and it was beautiful. Yeah.
I love that.
And also, if I must add,
Yes, please.
from the sports commission side, as I mentioned earlier, that we have had stakeholder engagement with the different federations and sport people, media, and on the talks was to introduce a category for Region of the Year. And
Region of the Year.
yes, imagine that now. That's on national level. So, but the question now is, how do we award that? It will have to come from, if we see that there's interest in the regions, who are doing something for their athletes, or who are showing that yes, Region 1, Zambezi is, we are excelling in sport.
Right.
So, or Region Karas, for example, is excelling in sport. So we want to introduce that category, but we can only do that if we see that there is works being done in the regions. So that's, who knows, next year we might be talking a different story.
Absolutely.
So, yes.
So they need to start somewhere.
They need to start somewhere.
All right. Now, Ms. Nyambe, what can the Namibian nation look out for, especially for this year's event, the Namibia Sports Awards taking place in Ongwediva? What can they look out for?
Okay, so without spoiling the surprise that we've been working on for Namibian people, I think there'll be a lot of surprises in terms of winners. I see that there's going to be names that we have not seen walking on the stage to collect awards, because as my colleague mentioned earlier, that there's been various competitions, championships happening all around, the world, whether it's Angola or Egypt or so. So I foresee that there's going to be a lot of surprises on that stage. We will not be used to the normal names that we normally see, and we already know that this is a winner. And I also must mention that we've opened the submission a little bit to allow federations to submit more names, because a lot of times we've realized that so many, let's say Athletics Namibia have done very well, but you can only submit to one name.
Oh.
Yes. So we've opened up to 3 submissions this year. So we really see an overwhelming number of applications. And as I've said, there's going to be a lot of surprises.
All right.
And of course, Ongwediva, as we know, it's a vibrant town. So we look forward to it, yes.
All right. So the usual suspects must not think they will have it easy this year.
I don't think so, without saying much.
All right. Okay. Now, as we wrap up our conversation this morning, Mr. Samlandela, fast forward, let's say 5 years from now, what would your dream vision be for Namibia Sports Awards in terms of scale, influence, performance, and impact on our athletes?
5 years, 10 years from now, we want to see the awards not only issuing or giving money on stage. We want to look at sustainable models. You understand, one of the challenges that we are facing is the transitioning of athletes from field to retirement, or when they hang up their spikes, or when they hang up their boots from track.
Right.
You see. So we want the partners that can come on board and say, look, for these awards, we are going to take these categories, or we are going to take this specific category. Whoever wins here, and then we are going to make sure that we take care of this person. If I can give an example of institutions, for example, of higher learning,
Right.
NAST, UNAM, IUM, TRAF,
The likes.
yeah. These are institutions that can come on board and say, look, the winner of this particular category, we are going to take this person, put that person under a program in school, so that they can get that academic skill for them to be able to do something when they retire. When you speak about financial institutions, one of the financial institutions, or all of them, can come on board and say, for this particular category, we are going to get this particular person. Of course, we are not going to give, from the money that we are going to give, we are going to ensure that 50% of this money, this person maybe can buy bonds.
Right.
Or you can do investments that can, at the end of the day, sustain this particular person. You look at the housing. enterprises. We have energy, we have other privates.
Yes.
Energy can come on board. We have seen they have done good with Miss Namibia. Yeah, and then of course with our athletes also, we have seen Joanna Benson in the past getting a house. So these are some of the things that we are looking at to say, okay, fine, I'm taking this particular person, then we are going to give these ideas. The ideas must be sustainable in a long term. Speaking of which, you see, when you read newspapers, there are sad stories that say athletes are struggling financially. Of course, we need financial literacy, a company that can issue financial literacy to our athletes, and of course, give them a sustainable means. Of course, we are on the road to professionalization, not only professionalize sport, but to commercialize sport, so that our athletes should not take up 8 to 5 jobs and only dedicate 1 hour for training, which is can sometimes can be fatigued. When I was reading newspapers today, you see analysts they are weighing in on the provisional squad for the Brave Warriors that is going to Botswana for the World Cup qualifiers, and they are saying, look, these guys, yes, they have talent, and yes, they are ready. However, you look at the last the last date when they played Premier League or when they were active in sport. They have taken weeks without being active. So this was not supposed to be like this. They were supposed to be engaged in something. Throughout. Looking at the awards, we want the awards to be something bigger that even other countries need to come and benchmark on us. We want to set the trend. And of course, if we have to look at categories, there are a lot of categories that people suggesting. For example, people are saying, okay, there's a call for us to look at Volunteer of the Year award, Region of the Year award, and of course, increasing the pricing. And of course, this can only be done when we find sustainable means, an injection into the awards. But this financial injection, of course, must not just come as a grant or something, or so to say.
And a once-off.
Not a once-off. It must be something, maybe a project that can generate funds, or maybe look at turning the awards into looking at the business model that can sustain the awards, so that when things like COVID hits, and then government say we are taking the funds from the awards, we are taking them for critical issues in the country. We have outbreaks, we have drought, and so forth. So when that happens, the awards must continue, unfortunately, but there must be funds to run and sustain the awards.
All right. Ms. Nyambe, are you fine on that? Would you like to add?
And I think I'm good.
All right. Now, finally, ladies and gentlemen, I want to pose you this question. What message would you like to share directly with the athletes, the coaches, the supporters as we count down to this year's celebration of the Namibia Annual Sports Event?
Okay, from my side, the online submission for the nominees are currently running to the federations. Each and every year, as I've mentioned earlier, that we have seen excellence. We have seen athletes performing, breaking barriers. Submit the names, so that at least they can get a chance to shine on that stage. As we said, we are celebrating sporting excellence. So I call out, to the federation, the coaches, the management, the media themselves to say, submit the names. Let them be awarded and recognized on this platform that we are trying, to put through to the Namibian people. And also just to the corporate Namibia, we cannot, the Namibia Sports Commission and the Ministry of Sport, we cannot run this project on our own. It requires a lot of resources. I think my colleague mentioned to say, from the Sports Commission, we are a very small staff complement. But here we are, here we are sitting with 59 federations. And as I've said, we have opened the submission to 3 from each federation, one category. So that means it's triple the work that we had last year. So this year's edition, it's very big. So we call on corporate Namibia to come on board, support the cause, as my colleague also mentioned, to say, let us look at how we can sustain these awards, not just for, okay, here's your 200,000, that's it. Next year, again, we need to look for that 200,000. So let's look at mechanisms that can really build up, these platforms. It's a national event. the top in terms of this, sport in Namibia where we recognize our athletes. So let us come together, and also on the ticket sales, they are available on web tickets.
Okay.
Our office is open Monday to Friday, so you can come through, anyone.
Okay.
Thank you.
Are the tickets also available for sales at your office, at your premises?
We'll make the provision.
Okay.
For now, it's on web tickets,
Okay.
but we are looking at making that provision before the end of this month.
All right. Mr. Samlandela, you have the final say this morning. It is over to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Namibians, for your support. Mostly special thanks to the family, to the families and parents and and guardians and sponsors of our athletes, and of course your hard work and your dedication to sport. It's very commendable, and we really appreciate that for you joining us on this journey to ensure that our athletes can perform on the global stage. And of course, the awards are on this year. We are in Ongwediva in Oshana region once again for the second time. And we are so happy about that because we are taking the awards to our people, because the awards are for the people, by the people. And of course, just a reminder to federations and other nominating bodies or persons, the closing date will be on the 30th of September 2025. So they need to keep that date in mind. And of course, the Sundowner, sponsorship Sundowner is coming to the north. Business community, we call upon all business communities to please look out for that invitation for the Sundowner. Let's sit, let's drink coffee, and let's talk about sponsorship. Sponsorship breakfast, of course, will be in Windhoek. And of course, this year is going to be better. Of course, the Wall of Fame, I almost forgot about that. It's not a separate project anymore. The Wall of Fame has been integrated as the number 22 category for the for the NASA 2025 awards. So we are looking forward to have a great journey, and of course, see you there.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Given Samulandela and Ms. Magic Nyambe, thank you so much for joining me this morning to speak and create more awareness about the Namibia Annual Sports Awards taking place in Ongwediva in the North region of Namibia. Thank you so much for taking time. I really appreciate you. And please don't be strangers. Don't only be coming once in a year. I've seen you last 365 days ago. Please come, whatever projects that you have on board. We are just a phone call away.
No, thank you so much. Also to you as well for always, being open to take our call whenever we say, okay, Elaine, it's that time. But we promise to be back again very soon.
All right. Thank you so much. Namibia, that wraps up the first edition of this morning's information sharing session. Please do not disperse. Stay tuned. We have another session coming up right after this. For now, take care.